Man, I miss cheat codes. I have so many fond memories of taking games to ridiculous limits or warping them in ways I never thought possible before thanks to codes. Some of them were simple cosmetic changes, while others made a game laughably easy or impossible to lose. But that was all okay. It was part of the fun of playing video games back then. So, what happened? We don't really see them anymore, and all those memories are exactly that, just a remnant of an era gone by. Well, today I wanted to take a look at what's changed over the last 20 years and caused these cheats to be left behind, while also remembering some of the best ones in the process. Let's talk about it. So if you want to go all the way back, you gotta talk about the granddaddy of all cheats, the Konami code. In Contra, this let you have 30 lives, making the game actually manageable. I mean, seriously, I'm pretty sure this is impossible without it. And back then, a lot of these codes were put in for this purpose, to make the game easier for testing. This is why some games also have warps or level select menus if you input the right code. It made it easier for developers to debug the parts of the game they needed to. And I guess some of them just decided to leave them in as Easter eggs, or they forgot to take it out. And before the internet, these types of things had to go around by word of mouth, so they were a lot more hidden, and in turn more rewarding when you found out about them. It felt like a secret, a buried treasure chest, not some simple little testing tool. Then developers started getting a bit more creative with them. This is where you begin to see different types of cheats, like the actual codes you had to input, and these either gave you more money, changed the characters in some goofy way, or unlocked secret modes. There also were passwords that were supposed to be like a rudimentary save system before cartridges could hold them internally, but if you wrote down or memorized a certain password, you could just start at the very end of the game. Good stuff. Then there were cheats that unlocked if you completed specific arbitrary tasks, like opening the cow level in Diablo 2 by finding a gross wooden leg and combining it with a warp tome? Like, who would think to do that? Or of course swimming on the edge of Cinnabar Island to trigger the infamous missing no glitch that can multiply any item in your inventory. Though that one probably wasn't intended since they removed it in yellow version. And then occasionally some games would combine these two categories, like Banjo-Kazooie, where you had to find the hidden Cheeto book and then he would give you the code to put in the sandcastle floor. But these types of things started pushing creators to think outside the box when leaving in little secrets for players. And before you knew it, we'd entered the golden age of cheat codes. Alright, real quick, top 5 best cheat codes of all time, you ready? GTA 4, you can get any vehicle, just drop a helicopter on some people if you want. Infinite money in The Sims, you could buy whatever, make $1 million mansion, I don't care. Moon Gravity and Tony Hawk games, this is so epic, now I can actually pull off a half-cab Big Swiss burger flap. Of course, there's no clip in Half-Life and Counter-Strike, so you can just go through walls and fly up high into the air to po noobs. And you know what number 1 is, there's definitely no better cheat code than this. DK mode in GoldenEye! In fact, 007 had so many good cheats, like paintball mode, infinite ammo, fast animation so he just zooms off into the distance. I remember looking up so many different games on cheatcodecentral.com. This website was the bomb. But you had to be careful because sometimes people would post fake cheats that didn't actually work. This was trolling before trolling was a thing. I tried to unlock Bowser in Super Smash Bros. For like 100 hours by beating the game on very hard without losing a single life. It was torture. But then things started to change. Cheat codes became less and less common, and they started coming with conditions that made them less fun. It's hard to pinpoint exactly when the decline began, but personally, I blame it on Guitar Hero. This was the first time I remember being able to enter a code, but then the game no longer saving your data if you put them in. So it was only a temporary benefit, and when you booted the game back up, they were all gone unless you entered them again. You couldn't cheat your way to the finish anymore and brag to your friends, you had to earn your victories, ugh. Then eventually, games started dropping the use of cheat codes whatsoever, and in turn started promoting achievements instead to unlock rewards. So now, if you wanted to have a big fat playable character, you had to beat the game on a hard mode first, or God forbid, buy it from the store. It feels like developers wised up and realized some people would pay for this stuff instead of just putting it in for fun, which is a big disappointment. But I do think the major cause of all this change was the rise of the internet. Nowadays, secrets are basically impossible to control. The only way you can hide something is by keeping it locked until some people do an alternate reality game like Binding of Isaac, or hide it so well that no one will ever find it. And even then, people can search the code of a game for anything out of the ordinary. So it's just a lot harder to put in Easter eggs anymore. Yeah, you heard me right, data miners. You ruined all the fun. On top of all this, however, difficulty started becoming better designed. Or as some people would put it, games are so easy now. So the need for cheat codes isn't as prevalent as it was in the past. We can have certain unlockables hidden behind achievements because the tasks themselves are actually attainable for most players. And in a lot of ways, completing the challenge can give you the same form of elation that finding out about a code did when you were a kid. You can still have that accomplishment and fun times with friends, but it's the journey along the way instead of inputting a random set of button presses. Plus, in a lot of games, we do still have the wackiness that cheat codes can provide, they're just under a new name: mods. And in some ways, these are even better because the creativity of the community can shine, and there's practically no limit to what they can do. Not to mention, these ridiculous additions are 100% free. You see, the internet's done a lot of good things for mankind too. Personally, I think it would still be cool for some games to use cheat codes today, even if it was just silly cosmetic changes like big head modes or different costumes. But I can understand why games have adapted to where we are now. The world has changed with them. Luckily, there is still one game that uses cheat codes, and it's the best game on the market today. Shovel Knight, boy! You can become giant, move across the screen super fast, change your color. You can even make it so every character says butt. This is the greatest game of all time. All time? All time. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed today's look at the rise and fall of cheat codes. If you did, feel free to subscribe for more analytical content, and be sure to follow me on Twitter for updates on upcoming projects. It's almost the end of 2017, so the last video I'm working on is the Snow Globes, my video game awards for the year. So get excited for that, and I'll see you guys next time. Stay frosty, my friends.